Okay, today we're going to install a thermostat bracket and calibrate it for the flaps and control rod on a Type 1 VW engine. You're going to need a 13mm wrench, flathead screwdriver, a good working thermostat for your year, and a bracket. Make sure your thermostat is good. Here's a bad one. You can see it's overexpanded. You should have a few washers and 13mm stud and one 13mm nut for the bracket on the engine case. With your flathead, you're going to remove some tin down here. You're going to take off this little square piece. This is an industrial shield. If you have a heater box, you'll just unbolt the heater box, not from the car, but just the two screws there. You should have a screw here and there. So go ahead and take these off and take this one piece of tin off on the right side of the engine case. Okay, now that we have that off, we're going to remove this one nut. You should have one spring washer and one regular washer. Okay, now your flaps are at this push rod tube. Kind of hard to see, but there's your control rod. Now, your flap should have your spring safety on it to keep them open if the thermostat were to fail. So they're in the open upright position. So go ahead and screw on your thermostat. Okay, just screw the thermostat on. Not too tight, but you know, you want it on there some good amount of threads. So you can see right now, this is in the upright open position, all the way open. And when you pull down, like this, that's closed. Open, closed. Now, the way we're going to do this is you want it to be, when it's fully expanded, fully open. So, you don't want to screw it all the way down in the bracket to where you know it's all the way closed, because let's say when it warms up, it's going to be half open, right? So your flaps are half open, you're not getting all the cooling air. So, we're going to go ahead and get the bracket. Taking off that stud. Okay. So you have your bracket here with a little notch, and you can see we're going to turn the thermostat to fit in that groove there. So up and over, and right there. So let's go ahead and put on a few of those washers. Just to get this kind of in some place. Take our nut. And just get it snugged, where you can still make adjustments. Alright, almost there. Okay, I can still kind of move it up and down. Anyway, so now, turn the thermostat a little bit to where you get that groove lined up in the groove in the bracket here. And let's see, we got it turned all the way. So the thermostat is now at the top of this bracket. So that's how we want it to be when it fully expands. So that's actually a perfect position right there. So we're going to go ahead and snug this down. Nice and tight. Okay. Now we're going to take our bolt here. And I'm going to have to do this one-handed, but you're going to pull down on the thermostat and screw the bolt in. Now remember, thermostat is at its highest position, and that means when it's bolted down to the bottom of the bracket, we're going to pull the flaps closed, but when it does warm up, it'll be at the highest position to where it's fully open. So that means it could be, you know, when it's closed, maybe 25% open, just depending, but that's how you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and screw that. Okay, you can see here we have our thermostat screwed on. Bracket is now tightened to the case, and thermostat is all the way at the bottom of the bracket, snugged into the bracket. So when this warms up, after we bolt our tin back on there, it'll slowly open up the vents. Or flaps. A lot of people say, oh, you don't need a thermostat, let's just wire it completely open all the time. So it's going to make your engine run or take longer to warm up, causing more wear on your cylinders and rings. And I'm over in Texas, and it's 100 degrees out right now. And people say, oh, well, you definitely don't need a thermostat. The reason I run a thermostat and flaps, is the flaps point more of the cooling air towards the hot heads. And one main reason is it was designed this way. So why would you take something off that was designed for it to run on there? It aids in engine warm-up along with your choke. And, I mean, you should really just get a thermostat and flaps, honestly, if you can afford it. And that's the end of this video. We're going to just bolt our engine tin back up on here, and we'll be good to go.